my friend, who I'll bring up in a little bit, but I want to talk about the market predictions, specifically Zillow's. And there are a lot of companies out there, economists, wannabe influencers, people out there that are saying, hey, the market's going to crash and here's why. Or back to 2020, the market's going to crash. 2021, the market's going to crash this year. 2022, wait for it. It's going to happen. Sell everything. Things are crashing. 2023, now 2024. And where are we at right now? Well, let me show you because I've got something for you right here. Some really nice charts. And you know I love charts. But first, let's go to where Zillow is right now. Yeah, you see simple right here. It says one on a year-over-year basis, U.S. home prices as measured by Zillow Home Value, which, by the way, they have a great report. Zillow Home Value Index are up 4.6% between March 2023 and March 2024 as of just a couple of weeks ago. That's a pretty big jump overall. And if you look at their forecast, this is the part, they're saying we're going to go up, the U.S. home prices are going to go up 1.4%. And yes, they're always changing it every month. I feel like it's a different number. But it's important to keep track because, like everything, things change fast. And I want to show you their forecast right here. It says Zillow forecast for the regional home prices, price shift between 2024 and 2025. This little area right here shows you red, negative, blue, positive. The darker the blue, the better. So if we go through and just quickly take a look at the areas that they say are going to suffer, you're looking at it being more towards the south. And if you've been paying attention, Texas has been getting hit pretty hard. They're still saying that even though, and I'll show you a different chart with housing inventory, even though Florida has had a lot of people move in and it's slowing down a little bit, they're saying, well, you know what? It's still going to not be too bad. And there are some areas that we think are going to be outperforming other areas of Florida. But they're all light blue. And if you see, you go over to California, California is also split into two. You've got Northern California across the coast that has some negative numbers, right? And then you have Southern California, which right now is pretty much on fire, a multiple offer situation and so forth. But there's some great numbers here. I'll put up the charts so you can see them. That's important to understand. And this, to me, tells the story. Why is the market still, for the most part, for the larger part of the United States, still going up? It comes down to two things. Obviously, there's a lot more to this, right? But two things. And that's inventory and interest rates. Interest rates aren't in the 10s, not 11, it's 7. Is it tough for a lot of people to buy? Yes, I'll show you at the end affordability and what Gen Z and millennials are saying about affordability. But it comes down to mainly those two things. And if you take a look at the bigger picture here about inventory, I want you to see what is happening with a beautiful, beautiful chart by my friend Lance Lambert. You've got to check him out. He's on Resi Club. It's his company. In Nevada, active listings are down 26% on a year-over-year basis as markets like Reno and Las Vegas tightened up following a brief home price correction in the second half of 2022. Active listings are down 26%. That's insane. Meanwhile, look at the opposite, right? Because this is regional. Real estate has always been regional and will continue to be. Meanwhile, active listings are up 57% in Florida on a year-over-year basis as Southwest Florida markets like Cape Coral and Punta Gorda continue to soften. So keep an eye on that. And I want to show you, there's the little chart, the little map, but I got the interactive one over here. And again, this is Resi Club. My friend Lance Lambert puts this together almost daily. So I've got to use some of his stuff. You've got to take a look at it. Here, look, the big one that stands out. Again, this little chart. This means negative. This means positive. In this case, year over year, 2023 to 2024 for March, this means we have way less inventory than needed And this means, hey, we're actually way too much. So the opposites, the clear opposites, Florida, super dark green, and Nevada. But look at the lighter greens heading into a shades of brown. You know that the northeast, right? You've got New York, Connecticut. You've seen how hot Connecticut is. Parts of Massachusetts, right? This area is super hot. And Illinois, which I didn't even know, but pretty decently hot. Southern California is on fire, and Northern California is not. But you look at then the darker greens, and then you have Texas, which has been hit pretty hard. Austin was hit pretty hard. And look at the 30s down across this. And that's important to take a look at, because as you go and take a look at active housing inventory, just to get you the better picture and say, what does this look like if we take a look at 2019 versus 2024? And to me, this tells a better story. And this is why I wanted to show you this one. Look at then almost everything on the map. In fact, I think it might be everything. Let me make sure. Yeah, everything on the map is negative in comparison to 2019. And the closest one to not being negative is Texas. And yeah, it feels like they were the epicenter of everything that went wrong for real estate in the last couple of years. They suffered a lot. But again, it was regional, because now California is booming. You saw Florida boom. The Northeast is incredible. But those are some pretty big numbers to take a look at. Look at Hawaii in comparison to 2019 on inventory. That's crazy. And look, it's also seasonal, because if we take a look at, I think it's this one. Yeah, if we take a look at this and understand this as over the years, what has happened and what typically happens during the fall, during the winter, summer months, you can see here, this is Zillow's data year over year from the year 2000 to just March of 2024. Look at what stands out as blue for the most part. The summer months, spring and summer months, March, April, May, June, July. Those are the months that typically go up in value. And the ones that typically go down or soften are October, November, December, January, and February. So you take a look at this and say, where are we right now? Well, look, March, right here, 1.1. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to go up a little bit more, darker blue, and then like normal, it's going to soften towards the end. So pay attention to these numbers. That's why I wanted to show you these. And then the last piece I want to show you, which is a Redfin article, Great Redfin article. Nearly 40% of renters think they'll never own a home, up from 27% last year. And then I'll show you this little survey. But to me, that makes me a little bit sad. Like, what's the main reason? And the survey is really good. Obviously, got some good things here, but it all comes down to one thing. It's financial. Renters aren't buying homes because costs are too high. The Redfin survey here shows, if you look at all of these -2, it's financial. Available homes are too expensive. Yes, they are in most parts of the US. 44%, they've gone up, so makes sense. Ability to save for a down payment, financial. Ability to afford mortgage payments, financial. Mortgage rates are too high. Yes, they are in comparison to back in the day. But regular upkeep, maintenance, also financial. Lack of financial support. Yep. The only two that aren't lack of homes for sale are this one. It's like, hey, there just isn't enough for me to choose from. And I'm not interested in buying a home, which we are seeing a trend of that as well. That was important. And then the younger you are, this was a funny one. Here, let me zoom in. Gen Z renters are most likely to believe they'll own a home, whereas you look at the bottom, baby boomers, 81% said, forget it, I'm done. Don't worry about it. And it goes up. Gen Z is 8%, 22% millennials, 40% Gen Xers, and then baby boomers. Obviously, because the older you get, the more you realize if you haven't bought one, or if you're just not in it anymore, you're like, forget it, I'm done. I'm just going to keep renting. Or I sold and I'm done. They're not going to buy. But some good information to keep looking at as things progress. And some people have mentioned that maybe the settlement, the proposed NAR settlement, is going to change the market somehow, and now the home prices are going to soften. Obviously, that's just a bunch of crap that's just coming from people that don't understand how the real estate market works. Just pay attention to inventory, pay attention to the mortgage rates, pay attention to the economy, the job market. Those are the things, among other things, that drive this. So, any questions you have, let me know. And if you want the link to some of those are really good. Let me know as well. I'll send them over to you.